Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of Rock's Garage. I'm your host, Dan, and on today's episode, we're going to be installing part number LGT-298, which is our LED strobe light kit in the red and blue color scheme. Now, the install process that we're going to be describing today also applies to the LGT-297, which is the amber version of the light. So before we get started, let's take a look at everything that comes in the kit and the tools we're going to need for the installation. So once you have the box open, you're going to find your LED strobe light itself. After that, you're going to have your instruction booklet as well as your bag of hardware. So now that we've taken a look at everything that comes in the kit, let's take a look at the tools we're going to need to perform the installation. So first up, we have our cordless drill with a 1/4-inch drill bit. After that, we have a socket wrench with a 10mm socket as well as a 10mm open-ended wrench. After that, we have a 3-in-1 tool that is wire strippers, cutters, and crimpers. We have a marking utensil and, of course, some safety glasses. Now, also with this installation, we are going to be using bits and pieces of the LGT-217, which is our LED wiring kit. Now, with that, you can go ahead and purchase all of those parts separately, but we do really recommend using the kit as it just makes life a little bit easier. So before we get started, let's go over a few safety precautions. So as always, we want to make sure that we turn the cart off, set our parking brake, and if we have an electric cart, we're going to flip the tow run switch to the tow position. And also, because we're going to be working with the electrical system on the cart, we want to make sure that we disconnect our battery or battery packs. So because this is a universal part, we're not actually going to show you the install on a cart, but I will show you here today how to wire everything up. So in order to get started with this install, we need a few things. So first up, we have our power source, and then we have a 10-amp fuse holder with our 10-amp fuse. We have an LED rocker switch as well as a momentary switch. We have a bunch of electrical connectors, and then we have our wiring harness and, of course, our wiring harness for our light. So our order of operations for this is going to start at the light itself, and then we're going to work our way back to the power source. So like I said, we're going to start first with making the electrical connections for our light. So the pigtail harness for the light has 3 conductors. We have a yellow wire, we have a black wire, and a red wire. The red wire is our power, the black wire is our ground, and the yellow wire is our control. So we're going to go ahead and make those connections to our harness using our electrical connectors. So next we're going to go ahead and wire up the power line. So on our flip switch, we're going to go ahead and use the outside silver post. There, you'll notice on the switch that there is a gold post and a silver post on the outside. The gold post is for the ground if you wanted your LED to light up. If you don't want your LED to light up, you can just use the 2 silver posts and then it'll act as a normal flip switch. And then for the input side, I'm going to have my 10-amp fuse in my fuse holder. So once you have your connector crimped onto the output side of your fuse, that is going to go to the outside pin on the switch, the outside silver pin on the switch. And then the line that runs to the power for your light is going to be in the center pin. So next up, we're going to wire up the control wire. So we're going to go ahead and take the orange connector from the harness, which is connected to the yellow wire off of the light, and we're going to hook that up to the momentary switch. This is going to allow us to change the pattern of the light once it's installed. So now that all of our electrical connections are made, we can go ahead and hook it up to our power source. So the red power line and the orange or yellow control line are both going to hook up to the positive side of the battery, and then of course our black line is going to hook up to the negative side. So as you can see, we went ahead and hooked up our light and it worked. So when you press the momentary switch, that is going to change the sequence of the light. Every time you press it, it's going to bring up a new pattern. There are 6 different patterns. There are 3 for each color. There is a strobe, there is a flash, and then there is an alternate for each color. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for the install for part number LGT-298. As always, thanks for watching this episode of Rock's Garage. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.